Hello, Taurus, and welcome back. This is a reading for the week of June 11th through the 18th. Yes, these are weekly readings for you guys. Individual readings, all 12 signs. We're going to take a general look right now at your life. At the end of this reading, I'm going to go over to Vimeo and I'm going to produce a video that talks more closely about your love life. We try to get closer anyway. But this is for the sign of Taurus, week of June 11th through 18th. Now, if you want a reading meant just for you, reach out to me through my website, my email address. Both of them are here. That gets the process started to getting you your own reading. I'll send you the invoice and we'll get that going. Now, let's take a look at what we've got here in this beautiful oracle book that my daughter bought me. This looks at the sign of Pisces. And it, again, this is the second time this week I've gotten this message. It assures that everything will fall into place for Taurus. Now, let's take a look at what we might be referring to here. Use this one. I've got clarifiers here if I need them. Let's see what we can do. Quick shuffle with the energy again. I work with the cards in between videos. So we're just about there for Taurus. Okay, Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. The sign of Taurus. We're ready. Pyramid. Okay. The Ten of Swords. Focus energy at the bottom of the deck. Feels like that something is finally ending. It could be a relationship, an association of some kind with a fire sign. There's an ending to something, whether it's the end of a relationship, the end of a fight, the end of some sort of abuse of one kind or another. The turnaround is always good with the Ten of Swords because it always reduces back to that new beginning, which is the Ace. The Death card. The Six of Swords and the Five of Cups. The Three of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the King of Wands. Some of you are dealing with a fire sign. Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries. If not, this just talks about feelings more than anything. I think in this situation it talks about the depth and the fire and the emotion of the feelings right now. For whoever this is going to speak to, Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going through a period of adjustment with the Death card. There's highs, there's lows. There's the process of grief, and there's coming out to a period of rebirth, and I would hope that you're here. Although emotionally, I can see that you're still at the depths of disappointment, which makes me think that for some of you, this is a new assault. This is something that maybe even happens. I think it's a long time coming, whatever this is. Feels maybe like it's a verbal attack of some kind. there definitely is the need for something to change here. The Six of Swords. It could be based around somebody's movement, but it changes your perspective. It forces you to look at something in a different way. This can be a living arrangement that goes bad, where you find yourself suddenly having to move, an argument between roommates, a disagreement between spouses, family members, brothers, sisters. It's associates of some kind, but there's a lot of hurt feelings at this point in the week. And if it's not hurt feelings, it's a disappointment. It feels like something you thought you could count on comes to an end. But then again, it's a long time coming. For some of you, it is talking about having to rearrange your life to accommodate moving to a new location. Or you're preparing your life for someone to come to you. But it doesn't feel like a happy situation. It feels like a brother that fell ill or lost his job. It feels more heavily on the burden side. It's really more focusing on the fact that it's mental energy, a lot of it. A lot of what you're going through, suffering through during this week is what you put upon yourself. You know, the Five of Cups sort of dwells on the disappointment. It says over here, look at me, I'm sad, you like me here sometimes. Sometimes Taurus, in their hard-headedness, can get caught up in the agony, and you know it and I know it because I know Taurus people. Especially if your Taurus is a moon. My goodness, when we're hurt, we go to deep, dark places sometimes. I think this disappointment is tied to actually an individual. Like I thought maybe a water sign, maybe a fire sign. But there's a depth of emotion here, a depth to the disappointment, as if someone who you thought had been loyal to you turns around and hurts you, offends you, stabs you in the back in one way or another. The feelings are heavy. They can be a burden. They can be troubling. And it feels like that's where your real focus is going right now, Taurus. The point is, for some of you, you have to make changes in your life to accommodate whatever the situation is. Moving may be part of it. Or someone moving to you, accommodating your life for the arrival of someone else may be part of it. And I hear somebody saying, oh, good Lord. Il pensiero. Disperato per gelosia. A desperate act. And the dottore. Oh, well. Well, that's kind of a twisted mess there. A lot, you know what? I'm going to say for some of you, someone has been dealing on a very deep level with a mental illness here. I wonder if that person dealing with that situation is going to come and live with you, and you feel like that person's presence is going to burden your life in one way or another. Either that or someone, during a time of trying to correct something in their life, decide that they need to move on. There's a healing for someone in your situation, and that person is moving on. They're moving on to something that's more suited to them. And yes, I think for Taurus, there's an element of betrayal or hurt on some level. But that person is moving on, and it puts you in a state. They're moving on for their own best, for their own for their own well-being. Those are the words I need to use there. So now you need to fix your life. There's something in your life, Taurus, that needs to be fixed. Take charge of your own life. There is a person of a love interest who may be there to help you. This could be an ex-wife. It's someone you had a bond with before. If you find yourself, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, in this situation, you may be turning to someone who you were in a contractual agreement with at some time, just some kind or another. It could be about a home situation, and you reach out to a landlord from another time. This does not have to be, in your situation, a love partner, but it feels very much to me like some of you may be falling back on old patterns, calling upon ex-lovers, ex-partners to help you through this process. I don't know if this is a permanent situation. What I do think is that someone may be turning to you in a time of need, or you may have to turn to someone else in a time of need, and that person may just end up being an ex-spouse, ex-lover, ex-business partner. They are formerly engaged with you one way or another in your past life or in this life. It's a very weird situation, but honestly, there's a situation this week for Taurus where now is the time you need to examine your situation and decide what you're going to do if this is talking about your life. Now I'm going to go over to Vimeo and do a quick reading around your love life. And I'm going to take these 3 cards with me. I think they're very important in the situation right now. For someone, it feels like a reunion from the past for many of you, maybe not. Could talk about a new contractual agreement with someone who curls your toes. I don't know, Taurus. Let's go take a look at my Vimeo channel. Reach out to me if you want a reading meant just for you. The information is here. Now I'm off to Vimeo, and until next week, Taurus, take care. Be well. It's just 1 week. And peace.